Welcome back to Geek, Feng, Shui. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. Been down to Chaotic Good a few times this weekend so far, and they have a nice collector's can, 16 ounces of various flavors that they can sell. Ironically, with the rules, you're only allowed to buy 2 4-packs a day per person. The Crowlers, they can sell 1,000 of them to you in a day. Ubisoft has an error. Diablo 4 is slowly approaching. This might be a mood to video on this. Had a beautiful day yesterday, and all 3 days we spent the day cleaning up our garage. Hence my allergies. You can check out my books at sellersjr.com, barbecue at kiltedswinebbq.com, or here on YouTube at kiltedswinebbq as well. Yeah, check out Chaotic Good if you're in the area. They're good for family, friends, and pets on the patio. They serve food in the actual bar area, so they have to have the pets outside. But if you're up in Golden Valley, up in the Twin Cities area, check out Under Pressure. They can have pets inside because they do not serve food, but there's so many food options around, you can call Uber Eats or whatever. On with the shoe. Is an old talk show. The FCC should be fixing my snafu of registering for my first handle, hopefully tomorrow. Then I apply for a vanity call sign, which takes 18 days because they have to leave time for people to say, oh, wait, he's going for that. And just so you're aware, with the vanity with hams, it doesn't matter how many people or when you apply, they lump them all together, and it's kind of a drawing as to who gets a particular vanity. So you pay, I want to say $35, and you supply 25 options, good, bad, or indifferent as they may be. With the tech license, I'm allowed 2x3, which is 2 letters, and then you can pick a number or zone in 3 letters, or 1x3, which is the same as 1 letter, a zone, and 3 letters. And no, I'm not going to reveal the ones I'm going for, but once I do that, I will do an episode of my travails for that. And I run in with a sad ham who objected to my choice of vanities. But he's a non-tech person, believe it or not, as most ham people are. He's just an older generation, and I can say that because I'm old. He's older than me. And he feels that he needs to be the gatekeeper of the hobby, which is defined by the FCC and nobody else. So there is that. For those who don't know the term sad ham, it's kind of like a Karen. There's a lot of signs when to be a sad ham, and I get all of them before. I didn't know the term until I was spelunking through YouTube and ran across. I said, yeah, that describes that guy to a T. started when I signed up for the class. He was one of the many contacts. So, as fallback, because I get test anxiety even now. And I thought, well, I'll take it the first time and I'll retake it another time. Because you can take it back to back on test day, worst comes to worst. So I got my GMRS, which is what typically has replaced CB radio. And it's kind of funny, as I didn't realize that some ham operators turn their noses up at GMRS because they consider them toys like CBs.
Hello there.
The difference is that over a regular walkie-talkie
Take care
or
of yourself out there. Drink plenty of
other
fluids.
radios is that a GMRS has better
Have you got a
power
contract for me?
and range.
My agents
If
are
you go
not
into a
meant to
place like
undertake
Shields
these
or
tasks,
other,
but
and you see walkie-talkies,
you
if you
are
can
not
remove the antenna, that's GMRS, and you need a license
I
for
bet
it.
some opal on your success, so don't fail or I'll be bankrupt.
Will the FCC
No
catch
pressure.
you right away?
See you soon.
Not necessarily. But if you get turned in by enough other GMRS folks, there's this phenomena called a fox hunt, where they will go and try to narrow down your location with radios. It's kind of fun. The FCC might come visit you. I will post both my handles when I eventually get them, but yes, I do have a GMRS license. Now the other thing is that most ham radios are not supposed to be used on the GMRS frequencies, and that is a distinct difference between the two. GMRS, much like CB radio, is channel based. You don't get to pick a frequency, but there's assigned frequencies obviously for each GMRS channel. Our ham radios are frequency based. And can you go to a GMRS with a ham radio? Yes, you can. Should you? Probably want to avoid it if you can. Can they tell? Not necessarily. But as a general rule of thumb, you don't want to use ham radio and GMRS frequencies. There was a guy on YouTube that went out to see if anybody was still doing CB, and GMRS has kind of taken over because of the range. Better range than you get on CB radio. Doesn't mean CB radio are dead by any means. Communications is important. I have a CB radio up in my garage that I don't use. Haven't used for a long time. My favorite story of the, it's still 177 meters. When we lived in Illinois, we used to drive I-90. I think it was 90 out there, whatever highway it is. And there was a trucker slowdown. They were complaining about something, and it was just making a mess. And so I got on my CB radio and I called them out on it, and there was guys that just went on a mess, but they couldn't tell who I was or where I was. So I was pretty safe.
Best not to draw attention here.
See if I can get to this guy without drawing attention. Oh, it was weird. I've not run into a dead body in there before. And within ham, you have different ranges of channels that you have to be careful. I'm a tech license. I'm going to be going for my general probably in July. And there's another one, advanced or ultra, I forget what they're called, which gives even more ranges. The third level is a much, I want to say, tougher test. But basically what it boils down to is a pool of about 200 questions. And of that pool, you get 35. Multiple guess. So yeah, multiple guess sounds easy, but they're not meant to be give-me's. I ended up getting 2 wrong on my tech license. I was quite proud of myself, considering I thought I was going to fail it. I just focused on my weak points and the formulas. Ohm's law is an example of what you have to learn. But yes, I'm hoping when I get my vanity that if I get the one I want or I'm close to it, I'll go to a group meeting and Sad Ham will be there.
Those that died have been avenged.
Now that I know what I'm dealing with, I will be much more cordial, but it's like, it's like when my barbecue smoking, there's people that say, well, you definitely don't want to do this. Or when I'm writing a hobby, there's writers that will tell you shouldn't do this, shouldn't do that. Well, you have to consider the source. A fun example of that was I was in a writers group and we were reviewing somebody's writing, and I had made a list of things I could make as suggestions. And again, I'm not belittling or complaining about the person's writing, but I was just looking for things for them to consider. And one was switching between the letters and numbers. So if a character rolls over in bed and looks at a digital clock, sees it's 10 o'clock, that's the person George rolled over and looked at the clock and it was 10:00. And my comment was I would say 10 o'clock, not show that, because it, in all of my reading experiences, what you base your opinions on is they don't use numbers. And of the 20 or some people that were there, they all kind of poo-pooed it. And I said, well, maybe I am wrong. So I went home and went through my library of all the books I read, and I found several examples from several authors. I said, this is why I have the opinion, good, bad, or indifferent. And the response was, don't use big name authors to back up your opinion, which made me laugh till it just about hurt. So on that note, please remember to subscribe. Enjoy the weekend, and thanks for stopping by. Check out Chaotic Good here in Castle, Minnesota if you're in the area. Link down below, as well as Under Pressure up in Golden Valley if you're in the Twin Cities area. Have a great Memorial Day weekend, everybody.